Senator Sheehy, you are recognized.
I think it's important to note that the objective is not to get out of the war. The objective is to win the war, not to get out of it. And I think we've allowed the narrative to shift so off target here. President Trump did not start this war. We did not start this war. These radical, barbarian, savage clerics who have started killing Americans 47 years ago in a unilateral campaign of terror, murder, treason, kidnapping, torture, have been murdering our countrymen all over this world almost every single year, hijacking airplanes, hijacking cruise liners, taking our embassies, blowing up our embassies, blowing up our barracks, blowing up our ships, capturing our soldiers and murdering them in brutal ways. They started this war. And it would be a lot easier to beat them if we didn't have administrations shoveling hundreds of billions of dollars into their pockets while they're actively fighting our own people, while our own uniformed service members have been fighting this murderous regime. And we have presidents quite literally shipping pallets of cash to pay these terrorists off. It's been a disgrace. It's been an embarrassment to this country for far too long. But back to the point, General Kane, I have a specific question for you. I think in this day and age, we all know that basically every single operation that we partake in, whether it's stealth bombers, whether it's a blockade, our special operations forces are a fundamental shaping and priority component to all those. Would you agree?
Yes, Senator, I would.
And I think for the last about 15 years, the special operations community budget has been largely flat, even adjusted for inflation. And yet continuously we call on those warriors to deliver the impossible. And they pretty much do. We were reminded just a few weeks ago, even after the amazing Maduro raid, when we had to rescue one of our F-15 crewmen, yet again our community came up and did something that probably most people thought wasn't possible. And they did an amazing job. But we cannot continue to call on a tiny fraction of our military to carry such a heavy load and to have such an op-tempo without the appropriate resources. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on how we can not just increase the budget, but make sure we're shaping their budget in a way that ensures that those warriors are getting the direct support for training and sustainment, but also the platforms that they need, from mini submarines to unmanned aircraft, to manned aircraft, and the platforms that are very unique for their mission are furnished and deployed rapidly. So I'd like to talk about the percentage increase of SOCOM's budget, how we affect that, and how fast we can do it.
Well, sir, I'll just highlight my gratitude and appreciation for the entirety of the SOCOM Joint Force at Echelon and the work that they do. You know, I'll leave the budget numbers and the increased percentages to my civilian leadership, but echo to your point the exponential return on whatever investment they give. These are incredible entrepreneurial leaders at every echelon who do great things. As the lights dim, as I say that. So hopefully they'll see that as a nod towards them. But I'll defer on the budget allocation numbers to the comptroller, sir.
First of all, I want to second completely your opening remarks, and that's certainly our view as well. On the SOCOM budget, I'm gonna say I think we need to increase what's in this budget, and I've heard from multiple people about that. In fact, that if there is a supplemental, I actually just wrote a note to Jay about it. I think SOCOM, given the op tempo, given their direct participation in so many of these historic aspects, SOCOM should be part of that supplemental as well. Makes complete sense. Who's been shouldering a huge part of the burden? Special Operations Command. So whether it's a supplemental or this budget, I fully agree, and I think we need to invest more.
Great, and I'd ask that particular care be given. The era of beards and guns and kicking indoors, as much fun as that was for all of us, is coming to a close, and we're going to be going back to our roots as specialized commandos, whether it's undersea, Arctic, airborne operations, and as we all became kind of one joint soft force during GWOT, quite frankly, that was an easier problem to resource for, to budget for, and acquire for. It's going to be a lot harder now when our operators go back to their service corners and need platform-specific technologies and training. Submersibles, aircraft take years to acquire, years to specify. It's not just buying more ARs and body armor and ammo and sending them downrange. So I think we have to think about the SOCOM budget a little differently than we have for the last 25 years and make sure we're programming in a way that it's sustained and is protected. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Schmidt, for that insightful exchange.